Good evening, everybody. It's Kelby here with Fire Through Fog again. I've got my partner back tonight, Uke. How you doing, Uke?
I'm great, man.
Yeah?
Vacation was good.
Good.
Glad to be back, though.
That's good to hear. Where'd you go?
We went to good old Tennessee.
Yeah?
Yeah. Spent some time in the mountains.
Yeah? Oh, can't go wrong there.
Nope, not at all.
Yeah, I've missed you the past couple episodes.
Yeah, I've missed it,
So.
definitely.
But we got some good ones. And speaking of good ones tonight, and speaking of Tennessee, we've got a good buddy of yours, right?
Yep.
And it's Scott. What's your last name, Scott?
Smith.
Scott Smith.
Scott
How you
Smith.
doing?
Scott Smith.
How you doing tonight?
I'm doing great, guys. How y'all doing?
Great.
Very well.
Good.
Very well.
I had a long
Good to
week.
see my old buddy.
Yeah.
Good to see my old buddy Aaron on there. What are we calling him now?
Uke.
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 Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
You
Uke.
look like Uke, bro.
Well, I appreciate that.
And I see your name is what's the nickname? Diesel?
Diesel. Yeah.
What-
I used to be a power lifter. I
Okay.
used to be a power lifter. When I deadlift and I pull weights, I'd shake real bad. I don't know why, but under stress, my body would shake, so the weights would clang. Well, somebody was standing in the gym one day and said, "You was pulling that, sound like an old diesel coming up the hill," and so I got it right there.
Yeah.
It stuck from that
There you
moment
go.
on. So
There you go.
I've been diesel for a while.
What are you doing now?
Right now, I am just trying to get my life back together.
Yeah.
That unfortunately, I'm in this thing called addiction half my life, and it has been a battle. It has been one battle after another. Now I've had moments of sobriety, quite a bit of time of sobriety. I was able to put 8 years together in one time. And some bad things happen and life happens. And so we run back to what we know. If we don't stand strong through the hard times. Now, I have been a chronic relapser. I have tried to get sober. I went to my first meeting of Alcoholics Anonymous in 1986, if that tells you anything. And it's been a constant battle for me. I know guys and ladies that have had that burning bush moment, we call it, where they realize that it's not for them and they walk away and they never come back. Unfortunately, I'm not one of those people. I realize that this is going to be a lifelong fight, if you will. I look at it like this. I believe the Spirit of God lives inside of me. I believe that with all my heart. And I believe that if I walk in with the Spirit of God, sin is not going to overtake me. Now I might sin. I might, do something wrong or just sin. But a drug addict, unfortunately, if we sin in our disease, in other words, if I take my drug of choice or alcohol or whatever, that monster has come alive again inside your body, inside your brain. And you think, well, I did it once, nobody got hurt, nobody knows. And so it starts this progress, a revolving door, if you will, of just doing it again and again and again. You know what? There's not a drug addict out there in the world. Now, if there is one, I want them to call in. I want them to call because I want to know their name. I want to talk to them. There's not a drug addict out there right now in their misery saying, "I'm glad I'm a drug addict. I'm glad I'm a drug addict." Nobody's saying that. It's a miserable existence. You know how I know? Because at first it starts off as a choice. I believe that. But once that feeling hits you and you have the right chemical makeup in your brain, it becomes this monster of doing it over and over and over again. It's fun at first. It's a lot of fun. I had fun, we're not drinking or getting high with my buddies or whatever. But then it becomes a everyday thing. And then when you try to quit, your body's addicted to it and you can't come off. You get these symptoms like the flu, if you will. You get nausea, you're throwing up, you got diarrhea, you got all these things going on, getting sick. And so you know how to cure it. You just go back out and get you an illness, I'll quit tomorrow. That's what happens to a lot of people, and the revolving door never stops. So that's just a little taste of what you go through when you are addicted, especially to opiates.
What triggered these choices?
I've had a lot of things trigger me. This last one, I went through a divorce, separation from my for my wife then. It don't take much. And I was in ministry. I was going around telling my story, had a book out about my life, selling my book, touring the country. I was one national speaking, just about everywhere that would have me. And, my wife and I had a couple of issues, and she decided she didn't want to be married to me anymore. And so after our divorce, I got depressed, I got aggravated, got frustrated. Shame and guilt basically stacks up on you so thick and so deep that if you don't process that thing, if you don't get it out of you, then your next choice is running back to what you know to get relief. See, we don't want to feel nothing. I don't want to feel those things. I don't want to feel the bad stuff. So I'd rather be numb. I don't know how to process my emotions. I've got a friend that I talk to a lot now, and I process things through them. I talk about things, and I'm able to, express myself. And if I can't pick up that emotion, they help me get through that. What are you feeling now? What's going on? I wasn't able to do that before. Now I do have a friend that will help me through that. Now we won't pick those friends usually. And I don't understand why. But this last relapse, I got depressed, I got aggravated, I got angry. You can't get in your front door because if you do try to come through the front door, the police is going to show up. It's one of those deals that I had to face. And so I ran from motel room to motel room. Here in the last little bit, had to sleep outside. I had nowhere to go. And so addiction was my choice, to be numb. I didn't want to feel that. So I made a bad choice. I started drinking again. And that led to my drug of choice. You know what my drug of choice is? Soup of the day. Anything that'll make me feel different, not like myself, I'll do it. But to be honest with you, my drug of choice is heroin, the most dangerous drug there is in America right now. Right now in America, it's more prevalent, more available than it ever has been before. Mm-hmm. It's everywhere. And I went back to what I knew, and I'm an IV user as well. And so that's the highest form, the fastest form that you can get it into your body, because I had stepped up from drinking alcohol to taking pills, to snorting pills, to shooting pills, to snorting heroin, then to shooting heroin. That's the top of the line, guys. Can't get it in your system any faster. Yeah. Can't get high enough any faster. And so I knew my next choice was this: death.
Yeah.
Death. End it. It's over with. Done with. I can't do it anymore. So that's
I'm gonna pause you real quick. Sorry.
Go ahead. Then I'll go into my story if you want me to.
Okay.
From the beginning.
Yeah, sounds good. So when you're in these moments of your life and everything down in the pit, I guess you would say, obviously you say you don't want to be there, you don't want to be addicted. One of the conversations I had the other day, someone that wanted to commit suicide and didn't want to live anymore, they don't want that. And they tell me that. And you hear that a lot. It's like, I don't want to be here. And that's why I have grace for people who say, why would you do that? Because I don't want to be here, and I would never want my worst enemy to be here. At what moment do you realize something needs to change? Like, is there a window where you're like, okay, you've caught this window, it's time to do something different?
Absolutely. I know exactly when mine was. I remember the day that I said, okay, no more, I'm done. I can't do this anymore. First thing, I'm out of money. Second thing is I'm going to die. So I'm going to quit. And I remember waking up that day early, like 5:30 a.m. And I was already like, oh my gosh, I don't know. Let me make it to 7 a.m. I'm going to try to lay here till 7 a.m. I got up out of bed. Well, what happens is your body, I'm talking about opioid addiction right now. I'm talking about pain pills, heroin, stuff like that. For me, cocaine and methamphetamine are a little different. I can split the two up and tell you why. But the opioid addiction, it gets into your body into your cells, and it kind of takes you hostage, if you will. I know people don't understand that, but what it does, it changes the chemical makeup of your brain. There is a way to reverse it, and the experts are calling it today epigenetic modification. In other words, saying to yourself, "I'm not a drug addict." I'm, reinforcing it in yourself but it takes time. That's not an overnight change. The morning I woke up and I said, "I'm not doing it anymore. I'm not doing it today." I stopped. I didn't make it to lunch, guys, because my body reacted in such a way that I was in pain. I was sick. I was sweating. I was nervous. My anxiety was through the roof. I was pacing the floors. I was angry. So I thought, oh man, I'll tell you what, I'll do a little bit today and I'll quit tomorrow. So it went and got me enough to get through the day. Tomorrow came, same thing. See, it changes you so much that you're not the same person you were. I've watched mothers walk away from their children. I watched daddies just leave and go off. I've watched children leave their moms and dads and go off because they don't want to confront what the family's saying to them. Just stop, quit. Why don't you just stop? You can't stop. You're hostage. I'm talking about opioid addiction here. Opioid addiction is the one thing that changes the chemical makeup in your brain completely. So the reaction becomes a physical one, not just a mental one. Now, if it was just mental, I could kind of, help myself through that. I could talk to myself, but it's a physical thing. So a drug addict goes, well, I know how to make myself feel better. A lot of people call it pill sick, dope sick. You'll hear those terms a lot. And what it is like I'm going to explain it like this. The worst flu you've ever had with vomiting, diarrhea, anxiety, stress, sweating, all this stuff times 100. That's what I would explain it as. And it's really, really bad. People have died from it. People have died coming off drugs because their body shut down. There's a lot of reasons why. This. This thought just popped in my head. There is a pandemic in America right now on overdoses. People are dying at a rate today that is astronomical. I've never seen numbers like this. And I just looked them up yesterday because I knew I was coming on your show. Year before last, 2019, we just got the numbers in for 2020 because, this is 2021. But in 2019, there were, now I've not got this number exactly right, but I'm trying to remember. I think it was 76,545, somewhere in there. People died from overdose, okay? 2020, 93,331.
That's crazy.
76,000 to 93,000 in 1 year. Now, come on, guys. There's something going on, man. There's something going on. And awareness is this. What's happening? Why are we sitting back letting this happen? Well, the government comes along and says, well, here's what we're going to do. We're going to cut off the supply. That's what we're going to do. We're going to go into pharmacies and you can only get this amount. You can only do this. You can only do this. And so they've limited the supply. What did that do? It caused heroin to come into the country like we've never seen it before. Fentanyl is coming across from China. You can order it in the mail, and people are mixing fentanyl with heroin, and it's killing people at a rate that I've never seen before. The awareness that I want to get out and what I would like for people to know is you don't know what you're getting. You can get a little sack of heroin today and get what you usually do, and it's so powerful that you die. You don't know. There's no way to measure it. There's no way to tell. You can't look on the bottle and go, well, that's 30 milligrams. This heroin's 60 milligrams. You can't do that. You're getting it from people who are just bagging it up, putting some fentanyl in it, and sending it off. Well, the drug addict will go home or wherever. get out their usual dose, drop it in a spoon, mix it up, put it in their arm, they're dead.
Mm-hmm. So do you think that's the main majority of the reason that overdoses happen is because people just don't know what they're taking and how much they're taking?
That's exactly right. And it's because the heroin. See, OxyContin was a big thing before. Do you remember when the government came out and told the pharmaceutical company, look, you got to take it off the market. It's killing people. Okay. And they took it off the market. Well, all they did was cut off the supply. Well, see, you could look at an OxyContin. I'm not saying this is the right way. You could tell how much was in it. In other words, you knew how much was in that pill, right? You don't know with heroin. So our government kind of messed us up there. I'm afraid to say. No, I'm not afraid to say. Sorry about that. I'm very loud about it. So I was going to make a point there, but I kind of got off track. But here's the key to what I want to say here. The government cuts off the supply. What about the demand? If sharks are in the ocean and we want to save all the fish and we take all the fish out of the ocean, what are the sharks going to do? They got to eat, right? They're going to devour each other. I mean, that's what's happening here. It's not about this. It's not about the supply. It's about the demand. How can we get people to stop doing this stuff? How can we get people to stop doing heroin? Well, in my area, we're down here in Tennessee, there's hardly anything for people to do. My friend there knows that.
Yep.
Don't you, brother?
100%.
I mean, we've got a Cove Lake Park. We got a few little things. There is nothing for our youth to do in this area, and so you take somebody who has nothing to do, and they've got a friend. Hey, man, you want to try this? I got high the other day and I had a good day. Yeah, man, let me try a little bit of that. And our kids are getting addicted so early now because there's nothing to do. There was a study done. I want to share this with you. It just popped in my head. This scientist took these rats and he put them in this little maze thing, and it had cocaine and it had food, and all they had to do is go over and hit this little thing with their feet, and whatever they wanted would fall out. And so there was nothing but a maze in there. That's all there was. And these rats went over and started hitting the cocaine button, and they hit it until they died. All of them, every one of them died. Well, the scientist took that. He took that same maze. He put a wheel in there. He put a thing in there for mice to do. He put a little thing over here, and you know what? He put the same cocaine and the same food over there. You know what? None of them touched the cocaine. You know why? They had something to do. Duh.
It's pretty simple business model.
Yeah.
So simple, isn't it?
Yeah.
So, go ahead, brother. I'm sorry. Yeah.
Well, this is a pretty big question, I think. So go ahead with what you were going to say.
You cut out just for a second.
Okay.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Well, I was going to say, what I'm realizing with some people that have, I guess you would probably agree that you've hit rock bottom and have felt that way. With people talking about this, saying they have went to their ultimate low, it's almost like I can already answer this question, is why do you take such strong responsibility for what you have done and what you've been through?
I have been there. I have been there several times. Here's what I think my viewpoint on that is, and I'm just talking personally for me. I can't speak for anyone else. I felt now. Let me explain something real quick. In 1984, 1985, let me say that, I was hired as a police officer in Carrollville, Tennessee. I went on to the sheriff's department and had a 19-year career. Unfortunately, after 19 years, I was well respected, well liked. I had a lot of friends and stuff. People are asking me to run for sheriff and all that stuff. And I had a bad relapse. Right there at the end of my career, and I resigned. So after I got into addiction, after I lost my career, I lost my identity. I didn't know who I was. See, I identify myself as Detective Scott Smith, or Captain Scott Smith, actually. I was a captain in the department. And after I lost that, I went out and, you start buying pills from drug addicts, and you walk in their house, they're like, oh my God, what's he doing here? It was tough for me for a while, but I persisted. That's the way addiction is. It'll make you do things you don't want to do. But what I realized was, after a while, I'm muscled up, I'm working out, doing all that stuff. And then all of a sudden, 3 months later, I'm about $185, skinny, pale, sick looking. People are looking at me going, okay. And deep down inside when they're looking at you, you know what they're thinking. See, guys, my sin is addiction. And I wear it right here. You can tell when I'm sinning. You can tell when I'm in addiction. You know why? Because it's obvious. It's obvious. And when people would look at me, shame and guilt, man, would eat me alive. I mean, I've gone home before, or gone, to a trap house before, or go out in the woods before and just sit and bawl my eyes out because I couldn't stop. I wanted to. Everything in me wanted to quit, but I just couldn't. I felt like I was trapped. Because I wanted that. First of all, I wanted self-respect back. I wanted to respect myself first of all, let alone people looking at me. Because they look at you like you are a real piece of work, buddy.
Especially in a small town like that.
Oh, buddy, everybody knows you.
Yep.
Everybody knows you. But I think it's shame and guilt mostly, Shelby. To answer your question, Shelby, sorry.
No, you're fine.
To answer your question, I think shame and guilt was my biggest, enemy. Because you know what, I have stood before. I've stood up on Eagle Bluff Rock in Jacksboro, Tennessee. Now, Aaron knows what I'm talking about. It's probably a 350-foot drop, I would say. I've stood on the edge of that rock, leaning over, trying to let myself go just to fall to my death because I could not deal with the shame and guilt I was feeling at the time.
Wow.
See, you don't know what else to do. You can't get rid of it. You can't really process it with anybody because nobody understands you think. But there's places all over this nation of recovery that will help us. If we would just come to the terms of saying, you know what, I can't do it anymore. I can't do it. And there's easy ways today to not go through the sickness. If you go to a rehab, they've got things like Suboxone to help you through. They've got other means to help you through to get to that point where you're not sick anymore, where you're not craving that drug so bad anymore. Yeah. I mean, even after a year, you have cravings, you have triggers, you have all these things.
Yeah.
But then you get a team of support around you. See, that's what it's all about is recovery.
And that's the biggest thing. Cause I mean, what I'm hearing from you is that you made the choice to do it. Now you are hostage. So for someone, what would you tell someone that is just the outside looking in at you? What could you tell them that they could do instead of sitting there getting their phones out? We've had this conversation with what does he do? He's a drug counselor, recovery counselor. And he showed us a video, and this pops in my head every time, of someone just recording these people that are just passed out basically on a bench, like can't even keep their head up. And he's just like, as humans, what are we doing to help them? Because you said, you're hostage. So what is something that you personally could tell someone from the outside looking in?
Within the last hour, I had a good friend of mine just called. Oh, sorry.
You're fine. Take your time.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean.
No.
It's in my heart. He called me. He's been in recovery for a while, and everybody calls me Diesel. He said, "What are you doing, Diesel?" I said, "Not much." He said, "You got a point." I said, "What do you mean point?" I didn't know what he's talking about there for a minute because he's been in recovery for a while. He was talking about a syringe. He's back out there again. There is a time that you come to an understanding that it's either you live or die. I cannot talk anybody into getting help. I'm sorry. There's not a person out there that's not ready to get help that's going to get help. Now, people will go because their mom and dad's going to run them out of the house, or their wife's going to leave them, or that. That's not the reason you go. That's not the real reason you need to go. The real reason you need to go is you come to an understanding where you hit the wall, or you've hit rock bottom. Some of us hit rock bottom and find a trap door. That was me. I've found trap doors before. But anyway, you finally hit that bottom and you realize, okay, either I go get help or I'm going to die. I'm going to leave this earth. If you care enough about yourself, you make a choice, one or the other. The choice was left to me. I decided that I would go get help, and I did. Today I'm sitting here sober because I reached out. I reached out to someone. People are sitting with bated breath, waiting to help. There are rehabs all over the country. I mean, and people say the thing about the insurance today. Don't even worry about that. We've got enough government help and all that stuff to get help. So I think the real issue for me was this. Oh my gosh, here I go again. I've got sober before and I have to go through that again. Well, let me tell you something. It's the best choice I've ever made. My pride, my arrogance, all that stuff that about me is what keeps us sick. It's what keeps us out there. It's what keeps us. If we'll finally say, I need help, please help me. You're going to get the help you need. It's available everywhere.
I agree.
It's up to the person.
We've said this multiple times. I don't know one person, if I reached out to him and said I need help, that they're not going to help me. You don't. It's not specifically going to a recovery place or anything right away, but I feel like I could go to anybody, especially ones I feel comfortable with and I have a good relationship with, and say, "Hey, I need help." Just open yourself up.
That's it. I mean, it's 4 letters. Hardest word for me to say sometimes. It's 4 little letters. HELP. I need help. Somebody help me. I believe that. Now, listen, guys. I'm a born again Christian. I believe that God loves me. I believe that. But I believe there's an enemy out there trying to destroy me too. And I believe that there's a lot of spiritual battles going on in people, whether it's good or bad. And I believe the enemy wins out sometimes because we would rather believe a lie than we would the truth. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
That's how gossip starts, because we would rather believe that lie than we would the truth.
Mm-hmm.
And so we get convinced in our spirit and our soul and, in our emotions and, all this stuff. And then we're physically addicted and our spirit's already dead. The first thing that dies in a man is his spirit because we made that choice to go back.
Mm-hmm.
I remember the day I had sobriety. I'd been sober for a while, a good minute. And I made that choice to go back. As soon as I did my drug, spirit dead. I mean, immediately. I went, oh my gosh, what have I done? What have I done? I knew I'd messed up. I knew I had. But then that monster comes alive again, like I said earlier. And it is, you can't take it on you.
It's crazy. I've got a really cool concept that's in my mind right now. So you're talking about monster. I feel like, let's say sin, you got sin's one monster, obviously. And when people think of monster, like, you also got that positive monster saying, oh man, that guy's a monster on the football field or something, like he's good.
Yeah.
So right now I'm thinking like, okay, God's a monster and sin's a monster. And it's which monster are you going to feed?
Yep.
Basically.
That's a good one.
But then it's crazy because it's, if you feed the sin monster, the bad monster, it takes you over quicker. It's hard. It's easier and it takes you over quicker, but it's harder, but can be more rewarding, it seems, in the long run if you feed the good monster. God.
Yeah, I mean, that's with everything, I believe. I know this. I know this. I truly believe this part of it. When I stopped and I got on my knees and I said, God, here I am again. I have took over the wheel of the bus and I'd run it in the ditch. That's exactly what I said. I said, every time I get behind the wheel, I wreck this thing. I said, my life's a wreck again. Will you please help me? Man, the next day, I had people I hadn't talked to in a while text me, hey, man, you doing all right? Is there anything I can do for you? You've been on my mind all morning. Let me tell you something, guys. God works in mysterious ways. He does. And the moment I reached out, I just knew. And this one person that can I share something with you real quick about something that just happened to me recently? I'll tell you when it was. It was June 14th. June 14th of this year. I had ran motel room to motel room. I was broke. I didn't have a penny. I was down to my last change of clothes. I had them on my back. That was it. I mean, when I say I had nothing, I had absolutely nothing. Well, I'm at this one motel. I'm not going to mention names or anything. I was at this one motel, and the manager comes and said, hey, you got to go. This is it. You're done. Get out. And I thought, oh, man, what am I going to do? I don't know. I don't know what to do. And so I thought for a minute. I said, well, this is it. I'm done. I'm going to walk right off this hill. I'm going to go under that bridge. I'm going to walk up in them woods. I'm going to slit my wrist, and I'm going to end my life. You know why? Because I don't have nothing left. There's nothing left for me here in this life. I was that gone. And I thought, you know what? I'm going to reach out to one more person. I'm going to reach one more person and just see. And so I got my phone out, and I didn't even have cell service then. I had to use Wi-Fi to motel to send the text. But luckily, I still had a cell phone. And so I sent this text. I looked down at the clock, and I said, it's 9:36. I said, I'm going to give them 30 minutes. If they don't answer this text in 30 minutes, I'm going right up there where I said, I'm killing myself. So I'm sitting there, it's getting later and later. I'm starting to sweat, but my mind's made up. I'm determined. It's like 9:55, and I'm looking at my clock. Nothing's come back through yet. I look about 10 o'clock, nothing. 10:04, I look down, nothing. So I started to reach down and pick up my bag to walk down to do the deed. I reached down. I had a laundry basket, actually. I reached down. When I was going down to pick up the laundry basket, my phone was in my pocket, and I felt it go bzz, vibrate. I stood up, grabbed the phone, and the message said, Scott, we'd be glad to help. How can we help you? And let us know how. Guys, if you'll count your math, that's 29 minutes. I gave 30 minutes for that text to come through. I've got it on my phone. I can prove, I can show anybody around. I keep it because I want that reminder that I was within 1 minute of walking up into the woods and into my life. That friend today is so special to me that I will never let that friend go. Ever in my life will I ever let my friend go. I tell them all the time, they save my life every day if I can. I call him my hero. That's my hero. It really is. People are heroes, man. People are resilient. People amaze me. You guys been watching the Olympics, right? Mm-hmm. I mean, those people are amazing, and that's what we got to. That's what I depend on.
Yeah. There's
story after story. If you was to get my book and read it, you would read story after story of amazing events that it just come down to the wire. You know what I mean? It's just.
I'd love to read it.
Yeah, it's very interesting book actually. I'm not bragging about because I didn't write it.
What's it called?
Wrote it. I just shared my story. It's called Dying to Live. John O. Comiskey is the actual author. It's on Amazon. So if you go into Amazon, go into your search engine, and you type in Dying to Live, and then you type the author's name, J-O-N-O, John O. J-O-N-O Comiskey. You can just type in John O, and it'll pop right up.
Okay.
It's the first book. It's gray and black. It's called Dying to Live. But if you would like to get that book and read it, you would read some very interesting stories right down to the wire of some events that happened in my life. Yeah.
Okay.
And that's what I was doing when I relapsed this time. I was going around the country, speaking in a lot of churches, a lot of events, a lot of centers for people. And of course, selling some books along the way, paying my way for that. But there's a lot of interesting stories. When I was in law enforcement, my career ended because the drugstore got broke into. And they called for me to come down because I was an investigator and I had a camera and stuff. And I was all right at the time. I wasn't using drugs. I wasn't doing nothing. But I remember walking into the drugstore. This is not funny, but I laugh every time. My drug of choice was laying all over the floor. I never will forget that. I looked down and seen all them pills, and I thought, my goodness gracious. There they lay. There was hundreds of them. I've never seen so many pills in my life. Well, there was a separation between me and other guys. They went back in the back to watch the video to see who actually broke into the store. Well, I thought, you know what? I'm going to work out later. I might hurt my back. I better get me a few of these. Worst mistake of my life, So I did. I reached down and scooped up some. And, well, long story short, my career ended that night. Actually, the next day. I took so many the next morning that I passed out at a stop sign with my foot on the brake. Mm. And some ladies come up, and I'm already into the deep snores of almost overdose. There's a term for that, but I can't remember the term. But you're almost dead. People that overdose, they have this when they're breathing, their respiratory system is about to shut down, and they snore really. You do that, and so I was nearly dead. They got me to the hospital. I think my blood pressure was 32 over 14.
Whoa.
I was breathing 4 breaths a minute when they got me there. And, of course, they saved my life again. My life's been saved so many times. But a friend of mine saved my life this time. And it's not in the book. It's a new one. And so we're going to start a sequel, or a prequel, not sequel, I guess. We're going to write another book.
So support system.
You know what? Go ahead, brother.
Support system wise, it seems like it was there. It's just, it could be there for anybody. I mean, I have this thing of wondering, I say, some people don't have a support system like some of us do, but it's there. You just got to reach out no matter what. That's the crazy thing.
I believe it, no matter, I felt all alone. I felt nobody had anything to do with me anymore. I've done this so many times that nobody's going to reach out to me anymore. But that's not the truth. The truth is people are out there who are, I believe God's prompting them to help. That's what I believe. I believe that people feel this need to be needed, and God is doing things in them to go, hey, you need to reach out to this one. People get this on their hearts all the time, and they fail to reach out. If this person hadn't reached out this time, no doubt we wouldn't be doing this podcast right now. Mm-hmm. No doubt whatsoever. I would be gone. I promise you.
It's amazing.
And it's just an amazing story of time. I got down to the last minute. It's just there's a book there. I'm gonna have to write that one. That's for sure.
Yeah. You got anything? I'm waiting for your shining moment you usually have that you just.
I don't know that I have a shining moment.
You hit us with.
I mean, sitting here and I've been privy to this information. Scott, I lived around you. I know what I know the old you, right?
Yes,
in the gym, whatever.
Yep.
I knew the sick you. We'll call it the sick you.
Yep.
Yep. Like I've told you before, I followed your story, and kept up with you. I wanted to make sure that I kept on, and and I know I shot you some texts recently, and I truly believe that over a span of probably 6 months, I believe, you've been on my heart a whole lot. Before I reached out to you, and first, I apologize for not reaching out sooner. Like, I know that I failed in not reaching out sooner to you. Just the conversations that we could have had 6 months ago, and it could have changed so much. And, I'm not going to say I feel guilty, but that hurts me. You know what I mean? You know, I should have been there. I should have been there more. I'm in Ohio. You're there in Tennessee. There's not much I can do physically for you right now, you know, or then, but to be there, to listen to you, to, hey man, what can I do for you, to talk you through something? I should have been there quicker. You know what I mean?
Let me say something about that. Let me hold up just a minute there. I believe that timing is everything. If you had reached out to me 6 months ago, I would have never texted you back to begin with. I would have never sent you a message. I wasn't ready for that.
Yeah.
Even when you texted me about coming on this show, I was very reluctant. I was like, it's just been, so many days. Remember, I sent you a text today. I'm coming out of a relapse. And you said, no, that does not matter. We need to know, hear people's side of the story there too. And I got to thinking about that. Aaron, if you'd have reached out to me then, I don't think I would have returned your text, brother. I'm just going to be honest with you. I don't think I would have listened to a thing you said. Timing is everything. Now, when you reached out to me on this show, you know what happened to me? I got a spark. I got a giddy up in my step. I thought nobody was ever going to call me again. I've been in all these churches. I've been on these TV programs. I've been on all these podcasts and all that stuff. And I've relapsed, and now it's over with. And you reached out to me, brother, and I'm so thankful for that. You know why? Because God's timing is everything. Yep. And you have a big part in my recovery today. You have a big part for me sitting here today. And I just want to encourage you in that, man. Thank you for reaching out to me when you did, because it was perfect timing. It wouldn't have worked if you tried that a while back. Okay.
Yeah. No, I appreciate that.
Phone was ringing or something was ringing, but sorry about that. But please don't try not to feel that way. Try to feel like you're a hero here. Okay. You really are. You really are. And Kelby's a new hero. I'm going to say it.
I appreciate it. I try to do what I can.
I'm going to work out with you, Kelby, when I get up in Ohio one day. I'm going to come to the gym with you.
Let's do it. Let's do it for sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, that's one of the biggest reasons we're here. And I'm starting to really see some things happening with this. I mean, we had our first connection between my aunt and another woman out in Washington State. She commented on one of our posts on Instagram, I think it was, because my aunt, she was like episode 2 or something, talked about losing her son at 4 months to SIDS. And we had this lady reach out and say, yes, we lost our 6-week-old about a year and a half ago. And she says she's still broken. And I was like, let's get you guys connected. They talked. The message that I'm getting chills talking about it. The message that lady sent my aunt is amazing. She said she has it's like reignited her, and it was awesome.
Wow.
So,
wow.
And that's
amazing.
That's where we're at.
Yeah.
Well, guys, your podcast just changed a life, man. What if it's just that one life you change? You know what I mean? Yeah. Well, it's worth it.
It's worth
it.
Sure.
I'd say you got a whole lot more out there you can change.
Yeah.
I promise you.
Definitely.
That. Let me say something real quick. Are we going to start to close it up here in a minute?
We can do that, but hey, man, this is your show.
I just want to say, if there's anyone, listening out there tonight, or listening to that, whenever you're listening, and you're thinking there's no other choice. I'm to the end of my rope. I'm not going to go on in life. Stop right there. Stop right there. You're starting to look around at everything you don't have. You've lost it all. I get it. But what you do have is precious. You have your life left. You have a breath in you. And as long as there's breath in you, there's hope. If you've got breath, you've got hope. Stop what you're doing right now. Call a friend or call a number. You can Google anything you want to. Drug hotlines, help for rehab, whatever. But I'm going to suggest you this. Call that friend that's reached out to you recently. There's a friend that's reached out to you recently, and you've shut them down. You know why? Because you're full of shame and you're full of guilt. You know how I know? I've been there. I know what it's like. I almost ended my life. I was doing a stupid thing. Stop. Stop what you're doing right now. Do not do what you're getting ready to do. Your plan is to end your life. That is not a plan at all. You know what that is? That's the devil himself trying to convince you to end your life because he's trying to destroy you. That's all it is. Don't let that win out. Make that phone call. Pick up a phone right now and call someone. If you don't have a phone, walk somewhere. Get somewhere. Get to talk to somebody. Listen, it's not worth it. Do not do that. Do not do that. I just feel a need to say that.
Mm-hmm.
Reach out.
Yeah.
Reach out to someone. Now, if you're listening to my voice right now and you reach out and you have a good thing happen, call back into these fellas. Let them know. Listen, that's what keeps us going. We don't want money. There's no, I don't care about money. You know what I care about? I care about the human. I care about the human spirit. That's what I care about.
Yeah.
I'd like to see somebody come out of this thing better than I would anything else. I'd give anything just to watch somebody walk out of addiction because I just watched one of my best friends crawl back into it. And it breaks my heart because it's not worth it. It's not worth it. My heart, I have a heart for this, man. I do. I care. I really do. And if you're out there and you want to talk to somebody, call in and they can give you my number. I'll be glad to talk to you. Okay? I'll be glad to talk
Definitely.
to you. All right?
Appreciate that, Scott. And I'll piggyback off that, saying I did this past Friday in our Friday meeting because of the call the night before with the suicide. She said, what can we do? Because they're suffering inside. They're in a dark place and they see people walking, but they can't reach out. So to piggyback off us as someone that's not in the moment that you are, someone else is in, reach out, stop now. Like you said, stop now, go reach out to someone that you may think could be struggling or just someone, period. And I challenged everyone at work on Friday to do that. And a couple of people came and talked to me. Josh was one of them, saying his phone was blowing up. He reached out to, I think he said 12 people. And he said his phone's just blowing. He said he's not really downside, but he said, now my phone's just blowing up and I've got like 12 conversations going right now. So, I mean, that's great. So that's
awesome.
That's what I'll say.
Awesome.
But yeah, to repeat you is if you're out there struggling right now, it doesn't matter. Like swallow your pride, swallow the embarrassment. No one's going to judge you if you were reaching out, asking for help.
Put aside the shame and guilt and reach out.
Mm-hmm. For sure.
Out. Reach out to somebody. It doesn't matter who you reach out to, just reach out.
Yeah.
You know, we got to reach for people.
Mm-hmm.
We can't reach for anything else.
Yeah,
people is the only thing that's going to help.
You can't do life without them. So
can't do life without them. I need people. We get in that situation just real quick. Like we get in a situation where we think, heck with everybody. I don't need anybody. Yes, you do.
Mm-hmm.
We need people.
Oh yeah.
People need people. Yeah,
definitely.
So there's a saying that says hurt people hurt people. In other words, hurt people hurt other people. We're hurt. You know, there's things in us that are hurt, and we want to hurt other people. And then we get offended, and then we shut down and go into isolation. And that's what happens to us. Just reach out. Reach out to someone.
Yeah.
And by the way, y'all tell Josh I'm coming for him in the gym. Okay? Y'all just tell him. You tell him I said.
Let him know.
I hope he's listening.
He will. He's excited to hear it.
Yeah. Well, if I don't know, you got anything, Uke?
I got nothing. I mean, I'm very thankful that you're here talking to us. I really am.
Thank you. It's good to be here, man.
I'm thankful to get a new friend.
You're my hero, bro. You're my hero, bro.
Oh,
you hear me? What'd you say, Kelby?
I said it's a good thing because I got a new friend, so I appreciate your time.
Yeah, absolutely, bro. I'm coming to Ohio, and we're going to hit the gym when I get there. Okay.
Well, we have one for you to come check out. So
yeah.
Well, let me ask you a question real quick. Your wife don't out bench press you, does she?
She. I mean, no, but she's got. I'm so proud. I'm so proud of how far she's come, though. I mean, and she sees it, and you can definitely see that confidence build. So it's definitely. I mean, that's.
Let me tell you.
Go ahead.
Yeah. And that's one thing about me. When I'm not in addiction, I'm in the gym working out, feeling good. And when I'm in, so there's a polar opposite there, man.
Yeah.
And I tell you, I'll take the gym any day.
Oh yeah, I mean, that's what we put as fire. With the acronym is fitness is that first one. Just get that blood flowing and cleanse yourself. So it's.
I love it. Hey, you guys get me on this show anytime you want to. I'll be a guest any day.
Heck yeah!
Absolutely.
All right.
Absolutely.
All right.
Well, we definitely appreciate your time, Scott. If you guys don't have anything else, we'll wrap this one up.
All right. Thanks, fellas.
Of course.
Absolutely.
Thank you. Have a good evening.
All right. You too.